Hey everybody, we've got about a minute before the meeting starts, but we always take a second and let's take a moment for some reflection and a little bit of gratitude before the meeting. So you can join us or just a moment of silence here for a second. Thank you, guys. About 10 seconds early, but let's go ahead. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and call the November 18th Board of Trustees meeting to order. 5 o'clock, I'm going to invite everybody to stand up and join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That's right. Joe Mancini's sent this to us and also gave us hard copies. You had to have a chance to overlook. We've got 2 separate meetings to approve here for the minutes. We got the minutes for our normal township meeting, which was Monday, October 21st. And then we had an emergency meeting up at the Commissioner's office on the 24th. And have you guys had a chance to review those sets of minutes?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys have any additions or corrections to either set of minutes?
No, sir.
I'm entertaining a motion to accept them as written in.
And the financial status reports, did you get those?
Well, we can, yeah, we'll add that too.
Okay.
I was going to do that separate since there was 2 of that. That's all right, Sean. Let's add the financial reports on it too. You guys have a chance to review that too. We'll make all 3 of them at one time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So no additions or corrections to either one?
Second.
Thank you. Been moved and seconded to approve not only the financial reports, but also those sets of meetings for the emergency meeting and our regular meeting from last month. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thanks, Sandy. Okay. Guys, I'm going to get to one of you here in a second. Let's go ahead and hit reports here real quick. Richard we'll start with road and maintenance. Matt's going to forward you a list of the things
He did, I saw that.
Okay, he did.
Yes.
And other than that, Richard's also spent the last couple of days, he's went over all the trucks and everything's ready for snow. Hopefully that's still way away, but all the plows, the sorters, spinners, he's got everything going. So he's had everything hooked up and a few things are already unhooked. But, mowing's all wrapped up. That our last mowing, it went to the crop line, it's done. I think we might have to do maybe one more mowing on some of our out properties. So again, with this rain, we'll see. Maybe it's going to get cold and not anything grow. So Sean has submitted a zoning report and cemetery report. And I think the last thing that we need to do is, Matt, do you have anything on the website report?
No, not this time. I don't have an update on it. I'm working on getting some more analytics done. Hopefully I'll have something I can share with everyone.
Yeah. And questions and everything that's been forwarded to you, everything's been...
questions, we've been getting some here and there, and we've replied and answered and taken care of many of their requests.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to turn it over. I think Hackett was the first one that came in. Do you want to be the official spokesperson?
I would love to.
And I know you guys are all together. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And I told Hackett too, I mean, we have a policy here, 5 minutes, to kind of condense what you want to say and what you're looking for. So, floor is yours, sir.
I promise I don't have 5 minutes.
Okay, well, that's
stuff to talk about, but just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Hackett Lindenfeld. I'm joined by colleagues Jason Dagger and Grace Lakey. I'm a developer at RWE Clean Energy, and we're developing a project southeast of here, a few miles. And so I'm just here getting to know the town and introduce myself, and just wanted to make myself available to anyone with any questions. I'll be happy to provide some more information about the project. But really just wanted to meet folks and introduce myself. So thank you for your time.
You said 2 mile. Were you? That what you said? 2 mile.
I said it's a few miles southeast of here. I can email you some information about it, sir.
It's a half mile to 3 miles. Put it that way. How's that? Is that better?
It's Bowers and Channel property, correct?
Yes, I would say from here it's a half mile.
Yeah.
If it's line, 3 miles on the outside edge.
And this is preliminary that you guys are starting with? Is that
Preliminary. And we're hoping to submit a permit sometime next year to the Ohio State Power Siting Board. And so we've done some design work, still very preliminary design. We're right now at what we say like a 10% design for the project, which means that we've got like the parcels of land that we've identified where we want to build, and we've got like a very preliminary design for like how we would lay out solar panels on the project, and how we would interconnect them. There's still a lot more that we have to do before we actually get this thing approved and built. We're looking at probably, we would hope to start construction in late 2027, maybe early 2028. Very rough timeline. Still a lot.
I would say most of the study work is complete though, at this point.
Yeah, and you still got to go through a high power setting board. I mean, there's a lot of steps. You guys
Yes,
are,
sir.
yeah, I mean, you're
Still pretty early stage. We can say
Okay.
it's an early stage project. Yes.
And you've spoke to the commissioners about, have you went to their meeting and introduced yourself? And
I'm introducing myself to the commissioners tomorrow. I'm
Okay.
pretty new. I've been at RWE for a little over 2 months now.
Yeah.
So still learning my way around. Introducing myself to the commissioners this week.
And the previous developer from this project has also introduced themselves to the commissioners. I think we've been at 2 of their meetings. You guys also maybe have gotten a call. Mark Schuler was the previous developer on this project. We kind of shuffled around how we staff these based on regions, so he got moved to the other region. So if you know Mark or have heard from him, it's the same project. And then he had met with and chatted with the county commissioners a couple of times, bringing Hackett in to do very similar to what we're doing here.
I mean, the county has had some different rule changes now. I mean, I know that project there has got some, able to be grandfathered in on some things, which some of the other projects don't have that. So,
Right.
I'm not, my biggest thing is just to keep the commissioners, up to date on that too, because I know they'll have some input on that too, so.
There's going to be lots of discussions to have. Yeah.
Excuse me?
There's going to be a lot of discussions
Oh,
to be had.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to hearing what you come up with. So. Very
Well,
good.
thank you for having us.
And if we do have anything, we can reach out.
Absolutely, please.
You too, Jason, or are you just?
So Hackett works for me indirectly, and so I'll be around. So I just haven't been active in this area. So in July, Ohio came back into my territory. So before that, I had everything basically east of Ohio, and the company transitioned Ohio back into my territory. So we have. So just to give you a general, because I don't think we've had this discussion with Urbana Township. So RWE is the 4th largest clean energy company in the country right now. We have, just in my portfolio, 40 active projects over 100 megawatts or larger. We have 2 under construction here within the next 30 days in Ohio, an 80 megawatt, 100 megawatt project, solar projects. We operate the Silent Ridge wind farm, that's ours. Willowbrook Solar was one of the earlier projects. It's down in Hillsboro. That's 150 megawatt project. So those are just our Ohio projects. But then we basically have projects in 41 of the other 50 states that are either operational or development. So we have just in Texas alone, 3,500 wind turbines, and about 3,000 megawatts of solar either under development or in actively in development. We just within the last 2 years got into batteries as well. This project potentially will have a battery component as well, where we would charge and then discharge the batteries, which is really kind of a nice situation you can be in, to where you can, provide constant power to the grid. So we actually have batteries operational right now. So we're not, there's a lot of companies that are just getting into that. We actually have batteries deployed at about 6 different projects right now. So just to give you kind of an update of what the company is and who we are. So.
You got anything, Matt?
No, that's pretty neat. Sounds like, yeah.
Roger? Guys, thank you. I appreciate that. We're not gonna make you sit through all the rest of this. If you guys want to.
That's fine. There's nobody else that has questions. We hang around, but if that's it, we'll let you go to more of a private meeting.
I'd go to his house for supper if I
we just talked about that. Like,
Well,
where you eat Urbana. I mean, on a Monday night, there's not very many options.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you guys want to hang out, that's fine. We'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Claire, it's good to see you.
It's good seeing you.
Yes.
It's really nice to meet you.
Larry's me.
I'll give you the right hand this time. So nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you guys. If you guys come up with questions or are getting
Roger, take care.
pressure or anything like that, let us know. Always happy to help. Also, I know my colleague reached out to Sean and chatted with him a little bit. We're part of the community engagement team, which does events, sponsorships. So if you guys ever have like local events, I don't know if you do fall festivals, Christmas festivals, anything like that, I would love to hear about those as well. So always an outlet for that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blair. There's my card. I appreciate it. Must be.
Yeah, what's this one?
So you'll get a packet with that number, and then I believe Sean has the number for me and my team.
Okay.
You can always get my number from them too. I'm sadly very available. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, back to old business. And I think I'm gonna start with Miss Sandy with, you had a report you sent from Otera that we got to look at.
So I got a letter. Hang on just a second.
That's right.
It's hard for me to type when I just want to make sure I knew what I was talking about. So we got a letter on the date of the 11th from Otarma, and they were asking for follow-up on that risk control survey. So they had sent some recommendations, 3 or 4 months ago, and I didn't know if you guys, they're asking me to update them on did we take any action or do any of their suggestions, or did you decide that, did you not do anything? So I didn't know the require road department volunteers to sign a hold harmless form. That's one of them. Written job description.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Yeah, I have some interest in that one. I can help with that. I don't know if we really have anything for some of them right now. No.
We just have Richard
Yeah.
and Sean. So,
Yeah.
Sexual harassment policy. I have one of those. I can give you guys. I don't know that we need that, but that's completely up to you. They recommend sexual harassment prevention review. Documented monthly road and sign inspections.
We've been doing that.
We did that check, last month, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
We can give that document to them or to you if you like to see that.
Okay.
It's somewhere that they've been doing, they've had it here for years.
I know they've been doing it. What's this board over here?
That's my
board. That's my little tax board.
Okay. So that's
Follow-up
okay.
stuff.
You have something separate from that
Yeah,
for these.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, we've always
It's
had,
an old document.
yeah, we've always had, they've always been a form that Richard keeps in a notebook about the
I
signs
thought
and stuff
so.
like that. We just never realized it, you know, it had to
So
be
the
turned.
motor vehicle record checks, those, we randomly will get that, from the county township association, but I'll ask Susan about that. If I know of one time since I've been here that they've asked about that, and we've sent
What's
off.
that?
Oh, you send off, I think it's either $10 or $25, and you basically send off to see if Richard has any speeding.
Oh,
And they
gotcha.
think that you should do it in case people have like a DUI that they didn't tell you about or something
That
like
makes
that.
sense.
So the other things were a driving policy, and secondary containment measure for above ground storage tank.
We just
That's the next one, though, I think, is the one we have information on, which is a barrier around it, or a barrier against the tank. I think it's one of the next.
Oh.
Line.
And then, the next one is install barrier to protect the above ground storage tank.
Yep. And so Blair tasked me with that information, so I've been looking for a little while. But heck, it was SRM makes it. It's old Bryce Hill, and they use their extra concrete to make these barriers. And we investigated, called them, asked them how much they are. They make 6-foot barriers, 3-foot barriers, and we got a 6-foot barrier that we placed in front of our tank here to take care of that.
Okay.
What was the price of that?
$75.
$75.
Okay.
So that one's done.
What about the install secondary measure for the above ground storage tank?
That's
What's that?
Is that a single?
Single wall tanks.
Yeah,
We got double wall.
We have it. Okay, so that one we have it double wall.
But they wanted that barrier no matter if it was a single or a double. So
Okay, so those are taken care of. And then the last thing was conduct annual drivers training. So anyway, that they do have it available free. So maybe this is something that I could, like when we did the last training on the fraud, I came out here, met with Richard, put up my computer, and he, went through it, and I printed off. So maybe that's something when I'm out here on a Saturday and he's here, I'll ask him to do this training if you guys are okay with that.
it's fine. Should we do it also?
Yeah,
I mean, we do drive the
it
township.
says all eligible township drivers, so I would say that would be you guys.
So it's
as
online,
well.
correct?
It's available at otarma.org. Says all training should be documented. So, and it says there's no cost. So those might be bad to do these free things. But I can send you an email.
Would you mind?
Reminding you to do this, and then I'll
And the link on it?
ask, yeah. And then I will respond to her as to these things that we have done.
If they follow up.
Yeah. Okay.
The biggest
Got a
one
little list here.
the biggest one that physically we had to do was get the barrier on around the tank to make them happy.
So do you have any volunteers right now? Like, do you have people working from Job and Family
We do.
Services? Okay. So I'll ask about a form for him. My guess, I don't think this is what they're talking about though. Those people have their own separate. I think they're talking about
because we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about
exactly. He's not like on BWC.
Correct.
I'll ask them about this one because I don't think that's a traditional volunteer. They're actually through JHS. So I'll ask them about that one. Okay.
Thank you for that. Is there any more on that one? Sorry about that.
No, I don't have anything else on that. The other old business that I had was at the audit meeting, and last month I had asked you guys to sign an exemption for the financial policy, and so I got that uploaded, and I think I reported that last time for the auditor, but there also is one that has to be done for the treasurer of state. So the auditor of state one is one time, so that one we did last time is done. The treasurer of state one we have to do every year. So I did that one as well. So that one did not require a form, did not require a resolution. I just had to go onto their site, get on there, and put in that weird sentence.
So that's for 24, so 25.
Yeah, I'll
you
have to do it again in 25.
Okay.
And I will do that. So that was the only other old business that I can think of.
Matt, the other thing on old business you said that you had some information about a quote for the sign and the vinyl in the cemetery.
Yeah, I don't know if I brought it up last meeting. There's bulletin board at Grandview Cemetery. Well, inside was the old cork board, and all disintegrated, and all the letterhead in there was all disintegrated as well. So I took it clear out and let it dry all out, and I thought a better way we can put paper in there, but it'd be more permanent, would be the sign shop here in Urbana they can print what we'd like to have on our fees or whatever we have mentioning about what we call it, decorations and all that. And it'd be more permanent. It wouldn't fade it wouldn't water or get if it did get condensation, all that stuff, it wouldn't deteriorate. It's something they print on it's called a max metal board. It's a real thin 3mm aluminum sheet, and we can place it inside the bulletin board, and it can do the purpose of all the paper. The quote was $75. I can show it to you. If you want to do that, it should last for the entirety of till we change it again. But so I'd like to see if something we have to look at the current document, make sure all
And
that.
it's magnetic, so if there is a price change,
Yeah.
they can make us small and we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either you can put a quick note on the face of it and a stick, or we can actually get some vinyl printed out and put over top of it. And it's encased, so it won't get damaged or anything.
Well, Sean has more calls about, when the dates are for fall cleanup. And,
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
so it needs to have something out there.
Yeah, it's an aluminum case, and hopefully
Okay.
the plastic will be clear enough to see through it. If not, we'll put it on the outside of it. But it's made to be on the outside or in the weather conditions. So.
Is it something you want to, do we want to entertain a motion to do this, or you want to think about it some more and table it tonight? Or
I think I would accept that invoice of $75.
Yeah, they can get on it pretty quickly. That's what they told me.
Okay. Well, it's been moved to accept the estimate for $75 from W Productions for a aluminum magnetic sign for Grandview Cemetery. Is there a second for that?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Is there any other discussion, you guys?
No.
We need to do something. It has to, and if
Yeah.
not, if we put a new case out there and waterproof that case, it's going to be a lot more than $75. The plexiglass there, it's just, anyway. So anyway, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote if there's any more discussion. All those in favor of accepting the estimate for $75 for a new sign, signify by saying aye.
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 None opposed, so the motion passed.
I have that.
I guess you may.
Do you need that back?
No.
Okay, thank you.
It was for this meeting.
And I'm going to do the report for the last thing on old business. Both trucks have had their maintenance done to them. Tires and all the parts replaced that needed. When they had the truck out there, they did run into, on our big truck, ran into an expense that they weren't looking for. There was a couple other lines that once they got everything out, that they wanted to go ahead and replace, which Richard went ahead and authorized it. I think it was an additional $150 or $200. But one of the reasons on that, when they got the pickup truck out, we had it, the bid was to put new brakes on the pickup. And once they got everything off and really looked at it, they said it didn't need brakes. So that saved about $500 on that. But he said when they looked at it, quickly they didn't pull the rims, and said they were just looking through. He said there was plenty of rotors were good.
Which truck was it?
That's the pickup truck.
Oh, pickup.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot less, and then it's going to be a little bit more on the big truck. Richard did call me before that, and I thought, we've got it out there. We're going to get it. Let's get it done. So, anyway, any other, Cindy? Do you have any other old business?
No, sir.
You guys, either of you have any other old business?
No, I don't. Good.
Okay. Go ahead and get new business then. And Cindy, we are going to start with you to do a, since the audit is complete, we'll have you do a little audit report.
Okay. So they released our audit online November 12th. And so I went on to our website and I posted a link under notices for anyone that wants to go and look at it that way. The items that are, the management letter is not on the website, only if they had any formal findings against us, and they did not. So
there was no formal findings.
There were no formal findings, no findings for recovery. The management letter is not released. It only comes to the trustees, and they had 5 items on that. And so we had an exit meeting. I went, Blair went, Matt went, and they explained them to us, and I also sent out what I had to say about them too. So the first thing was I think that's the one where they wanted the final appropriations filed at the county auditor. I did not do that because I did not believe I needed to. So I talked to Richard at Mad River, and he told me to just file it. I said, okay. So they indicated they couldn't give us our final certificate without that, and I said, well, they did. So just from now on, I will file our final budget with the auditors. That's item 1 on the management letter. Item 2 is, let's see. Oh, this is the permissive tax. So going back, I can go back 10 years worth of records. We have motor vehicle license tax. Within motor vehicle license tax, there is a permissive tax. When we get money every month from the county, sometimes we get a permissive tax. I put it in that fund, which is Fund 2011. They wanted permissive tax to have its own fund. So I set up a fund, I think it's called 2402 permissive. I spoke with Richard. Again, Richard is the CPA. He's Mad River Township fiscal officer. If I have questions, I ask him because I know he knows. He trains for UAN. Richard said set up a fund and go in and just move the money from this year over that you put in there. There's not a whole lot of money. We don't get a whole lot of money in permissive tax. So from now on, we'll have another line budgeted called permissive tax. So that was the second item. The third item is an issue with zoning deposits. So there were some zoning deposits that they identified. I believe there were 5 of them. where the fee is $60 for 1,000 square feet, 6 cents a foot above 1,000, where there was not enough charged for the 6 cents, and then sometimes where there was too much charged. It ended up being across all 5 of them undercharging by $158. They put it to their legal team, who said there's no, we do not have to go after these people for this money back. But they did recommend that rather than doing this figuring up of square foot, that we should have a flat fee for zoning, because it doesn't take any longer to write a zoning permit, no matter how big square footage is on the property. So I talked to Richard. Again, Richard Ford, he said the same thing. At their township, they have a flat fee. They do not do any figuring, and it's for this exact reason, because so there's no discrepancy in how much should be charged. So I don't know, we can come back to that one. So the 4th item was the fraud training, and we have now all completed the fraud training. Sean has completed the fraud training, and Richard has completed the fraud training. The 5th item is public record requests. So they pulled 5 public record requests, and the ones that they had an issue with were the ones that I gave to Dan Evilsizer on that had a W-9s in there, and they wanted me. I had redacted social security numbers, and I'm pretty sure that Dan stated in his request that personal identifiers should be redacted, but they wanted in my letter back to him to say I redacted the social security numbers, and to quote the law that says I have to redact social security numbers. And in the letter that I wrote to Dan, I did not tell him in my letter I redacted social security numbers, and I did not quote the revised code authorization for doing so. So I responded that moving forward, I would do so.
Okay.
So there was one other item. They did not number it, and it was about bank reconciliations. So they want the bank reconciliation done the exact month that I get it, and I usually get it like the second weekend. And so they want it to be approved in that month. And so I spoke to Richard about this, because sometimes I don't have all of the paperwork from the audit. It's mainly the auditor, but sometimes a statement will come and we'll get like liquor tax with a deposit just in our account, and I'm not really sure what it is, and so I have to find what it is. So I may not give the statement that month. So Richard said that what he does, and he suggested that I do, is don't worry about where I put the money, just put the money in the general fund, balance the bank statement, and then when I get the documentation, move the money where it needs to be into the correct fund. So that's what I'll do. I haven't had it. It only happened in that 2 years. I think it happened 4 times. So my guess is it was over taxes when we get our tax deposits, because that's the times that I'm looking for paperwork. So other than that, I felt like I was very nervous about the audit, but I felt so good. Like it was a very positive experience. They were very nice, and it was just it was good to have them do something so in depth. mean, they worked on our, we did pay over $7,000 for this audit. They put a lot of time in it, and, but I would do it again next year. That's how positive I felt about the experience in dealing with the state auditor's office. So, if you guys, I emailed you those things. Obviously, I don't know that you've seen it, Roger, but I can print them for you if you'd like to see what they had. But if you go to the website under notices, there's a link on there, and it'll take you out onto the state auditor's website, and it'll show the results of our audit on there. Does anyone have any questions, or did you think I explained it?
You did great.
Okay.
Knowing that you do great, they did great. I mean, they were
so nice.
I couldn't believe how thorough and how elementary they got with us to.
Yeah,
because we had a lot of questions.
Picky about a lot of things.
And it was like, Jiminy Christmas, I had no idea, but they said, we asked if there was anything we could do, and I meant to have that made. And they said that every township has a few things that they can improve on, and
that's what Richard told me. He's like, you will never not have something in there. They will find something.
Yeah.
But they, the one thing that I did push back on them on that first item about, because it does not say in the statute that you have to do that and that you have to go file that. And they said, well, but they can't give you that amended certificate if they don't have that. And I'm like, they can, because they did. I have it right here. So anyway, but anyway, Richard's like, yeah, you're not going to win that battle. Just give it to him.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Do you have anything you want
No,
to
I
add
just
about?
think Sandy did a tremendous job.
I did.
A lot of work going back and
It
forth.
was a lot of work. There's a lot of documentation. Like, they went through all of our minutes. They went through every one of our bank statements. So, but you know what? It hadn't. They could not tell me the last time that they had done a full audit, and they should have done a full audit when Ruth left, and they should have done a full audit after my first 2 years. They're supposed to, and I think that they didn't because of COVID, because it was 2020.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's why I think. I don't know. But anyway, it was a good day.
Very good, Sandy. Thank you.
You did great. Thank you.
Good job. Seriously. We all glad you're on our team. Matt, you wanted to bring something up about that.
So in light of that, I think we should start considering, or at least consider about that zoning fee, making it more of a flat rate, like Richard suggests on Mad River, and just to make it simple, simplify the whole process, basically.
I totally agree. I didn't realize it'd be that. Yeah.
Well, again, Sean knows about this, and Sean knows about the mistakes he's made, and he said the same thing. He says, is there any way he would like, as the zoning officer, he would like to have a flat? I mean, again, I just think we need to, maybe wait till next meeting, and let's call some fiscal officers or some, not fiscal, I'm sorry, Sandy, call some zoning officers and see what they're doing and try to get an average. And
Okay.
Well, did we figure $60 was that's what they're talking about? Is that
no, that's it. No, they
charged $200 at Mad River.
200?
200, but that covers everything. Sean's always had a problem with people think that they're going to come in and a zoning permit is $60. Well, then they have extra square feet and stuff like that. And then Sean says, now I got to tell them, instead of owing $60, they owe me $180 or $240 or whatever. But he says, he would just like to have something that it would just be a little bit more consistent. And I think what you shared about what Mr. Ford said from Mad River is it really averages out. So it's not like we're not making more money. We're not losing more money. It's just easier to put on the website, and it's just going to, fast track a lot of this decisions for people to know what kind of funds they need to bring in. And so again, just think about it. Let's don't make a decision, but if you don't mind, I'll we've got this right here, the fiscal officer numbers are on that.
Yeah.
I
So,
did send an email.
I say fiscal, and I'm so sorry I keep saying fiscal.
Oh, okay.
We need
yeah.
to talk to zoning about it,
Yeah,
not the
it's
fiscal. So, and I've already talked to a couple myself, so, and they're thinking about doing the same thing. So, do you have that? You have that? with all the-
Yeah, I think I do. I'll take them. I've always put it somewhere and then I lose it.
Yeah.
Keep it at home and then
You want to call anybody or you want us to do it?
Whatever, I don't care.
Hey.
Just tell me, and
Well, then we'll do a couple of them. You know Wayne Russell. So what?
a lot of them, they don't all have websites.
Yeah. But I already talked to John Marquise, and I talked to Randy Moore. So why don't you call Wayne, because Wayne does Union and Goshen, so what else do you know? And I know Brad here, so I just, if you don't mind, just see what they're doing for Goshen and Union. Matt,
so.
Yeah.
So Wayne does,
he does Goshen and
okay.
Union. And same way with Marquise, John does Harrison and Adams. And I talked to him about, I've already talked to him. I talked to Randy Moore from Wayne. So if you want to do Steve Neer, and I know Bob Kirk, Bob does Jackson and Johnson, so I can talk to him.
I can do Steve Neer.
Well then you take Steve Neer. Well, then you don't have to do anything, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know any of these fellas, but
Yeah, well, Matt, yeah. So you're going, okay, so that's going to be Roger.
what are you gonna do? Look for a
Just
like
see,
an average of what?
yeah, just see what they're charging
Okay.
and what averages out. And then we'll take we can make a formal motion and probably ought to get Sean in here and let him state his case too, but he's the one that would like to.
He's one that lives it, yeah.
Like I said, he said, well, I'm going to pay it. And it's like, if you were supposed to pay, they would tell us, but they said no. Isn't that correct?
That's right.
Because we didn't have to pay, it was more. Oh, anyway. Anybody else got any other new business?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's think about zoning, guys, and we'll talk about it next meeting. Get some idea.
Next meeting, we'll also have our temporary budget for approval for starting in January.
Okay. And while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and say that next meeting will be December 16th, 2024, 5 o'clock. I think the county meeting is,
I actually, that reminds me, I got an email.
is that the 18th?
LUC's annual meeting.
Yeah.
That's Thursday, November 21st at 6:30. I don't know if anyone's going to that. And then, let me see what's
What's that now? I missed that.
LUC.
Oh,
okay.
Any other
The
new business?
meeting date is December 11th for the
County meeting?
the
Wow,
county meeting.
my bad.
Yeah. So they have not sent out invites yet. And they have not set the price because they have to find out I don't know who the caterer is. And so once Susan gets that, she'll send out the RSVPs and then you'll need to mail in a check for yourself and your guest. I think last year, was it $18?
Yeah. Per person, yeah.
Yeah, so, but she hasn't, I'm actually on that committee, but I haven't heard anything about it. So I sent her an email yesterday, so if I hear back, I'll let you know. But other than that, no.
Okay.
My job wanted to do for OTA, the Township Associate's having their conference in January. There's some things I wouldn't mind attending. I can always learn. Knowledge is power. right? So I could always learn some more on it. Things that I wasn't aware of after knowing what I've been through for 8, 9, 10 months. It would have helped knowing what I was going through some of those meetings last January. It'll be good. Maybe just one day or something like that.
How's that work?
The OTA conference.
That
Just
you
just
just
submit?
can sign, submit for reimbursement, or I can I can.
Someone
I
did
think
last
you need
year.
a paper. Yeah,
Whatever happened to 1 year that they were gonna put all that on?
I never did get anything from them.
That's crazy. And why they don't do that? Put it all on DVD
Oh, yeah.
and then sell it to the townships. I don't have any
I
idea.
requested that would have been 3 years
I know,
ago
I
when you
know.
did it, and I reached out and never did get anything from them. So
I think they do put some of their classes online.
maybe they're on their website. Maybe that's why, I don't know. But they had said that year they were doing a DVD.
Not only did they say it, but that was in the material too, that was available, because we both talked about that. So
That's what I'm doing actually more.
is that right?
10:30, 11:30, I got a class on OTA. So
Oh, is that right? Online? Good for you.
I picked a random date a long time ago. So.
Okay, good.
But after that, I can support the
Okay.
tree trim.
Last thing we gotta do is I need someone to make a motion to approve bill payment and let Sandy distribute mail checks. Do I have a motion for that? Matt?
Yeah. Make a motion to get that going.
You second that, Raj?
Second.
And moving second for Sandy to pay and mail. No discussions, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All approved, Sandy. And we already talked about next meeting date. And last thing, Dan, do you have anything you'd like to add tonight?
I do not.
Dan, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping. And guys, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move we adjourn.
Okay, and I'll
You
second.
need a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're done, guys. Thanks very much, guys.
Very good.
Sorry about that being so long, but